Through to the semi-finals, let's go! What's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well, man. I really do hope that. And welcome to the match review of Chelsea's 1-0 win against Leicester City in the FA Cup. Not a classic. Dude, in the first half, man. Peak. Anyway, the big, most important thing is Chelsea are through to the semi-finals. They've shown they can win ugly against a good Leicester side who started very, very well indeed. And Frank Lampard showed yet again why he is an assertive coach that is not afraid to make changes. You might have thought pre-match, oh yeah, half-time, Frank Lampard is going to take off Reece James, Billy Gilmore and Mason Mount, three superstar young academy products that look incredible. And you're like, oh my god, he takes all those people off. And you go, yeah. And he brings on Ross Barkley. A lot of Chelsea fans would be like, oh god, no. Not me though. I mean, maybe me at times. But the assertive changes helped Chelsea get the 1-0 W and we move. And we're going to be talking about that in today's video. But I want to take one moment to thank all you guys who went to check out my second channel, Jan's Yard. I'm really pleased that some of you guys are jumping aboard and checking me out on the platform, not necessarily talking about football, doing some different kind of content. If you think you might dig it, please do consider checking out my second channel. I'll leave a link in the top of the description to a video where I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my sort of career in music and stuff like that. You might find it interesting, man. A bit of background on Jan, so do click the link at the top of the description and go show your support. Alright, let's get into this match review. So, the FA Cup, man, a trophy Frank Lampard and Chelsea have won quite a lot, and a competition the gaffer will be taking incredibly seriously. Something perhaps he can win this season. I mean, who are the other favourites? Really, Man City, probably, provided they beat Newcastle, they're yet to play, and we've just beaten Man City. He'll be thinking, we can win the FA Cup. Considering Man United only just squeezed through against Norwich, he'll be fancying our chances. Arsenal got through against Sheffield, but Arsenal aren't looking great at the moment. He'll be thinking, you know what, man, Chelsea are going to be alright, hopefully. Although, if we do meet Man United in the semi or final, it could give them the opportunity of beating Chelsea for the fourth time in one season. Man United, coached by that PE teacher. Now, I don't want to disrespect Solskjaer actually, and they are a good side, but come on, we're out here beating Man City and knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup. We can't lose to United 4 times in a season. That's unprecedented. Has that even ever happened before? So, although I don't rate United as high as, you know, obviously City is in stuff in terms of level of opposition, I just feel like there's a juju over us regarding that matchup. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's talk about this game that happened and let's open up that analysis screen. Boom, boom. As per usual, I've used the Who Scored Match Center graphic to give you guys some context of what went down in this game. Frank Lampard went with a 4-3-3. He actually started Willy Caballero in goal, which turned out it was a relatively good move. He had his concentration face on today. Reece James started at right back, which was no shock to many Chelsea fans. I actually called the centre-back partnership of Zuma and Rudiger, which came to pass, which I was quite impressed that I guessed that. And at left back, I really didn't think we would see Emerson start this game, but we saw Emerson start this game and see out the whole match, which was big. The midfield that was relatively disappointing in the first half consisted of N'Golo Kante, Billy Gilmore, who gets the nod yet again after his immaculate appearances prior to the break, and Mason Mount, the ever-present son of Frank Lampard prodigy vibe ting. I thought Tammy Abraham would start up front, and he did, but I did not suspect the two flanking wingers. Frank Lampard went again with both Pulisic and Willian. He really wanted to put the game to bed with some form forwards, and that concluded his starting 11 for the first half. Now, dude, this game as a whole was pretty bad, I'm going to be honest with you, but the first half especially. Leicester came out absolutely all over Chelsea with their 4-1-4-1 formation, pressing the hell out of Frank Lampard's Blues. And Chelsea in the opening stages couldn't get a sniff. We couldn't even get the ball. Pulisic played very well this game when he was on the pitch, but he didn't touch the ball for a very long time since the kickoff, so it was a very frustrating opening, and Chelsea absolutely rode their luck in the opening stages. But as the first half went on and we sort of assessed the whole thing in its entirety, it was clear that neither Chelsea nor Leicester City were playing well. Loads of bad passes. Billy Gilmour kept giving the ball away. He'd do some good stuff and sometimes, make up for his mistakes, but these ambitious passes that he usually makes, and they usually come off, making him look excellent, weren't coming off. So Chelsea looked dysfunctional, and it was 0-0 at half time, and Chelsea were probably quite lucky for it to be 0-0 at half time. We all would have assumed as Chelsea fans that Frank Lampard was not happy, and he was not happy as he made 3 half-time changes. Ruthless! And the 3 players he took off are all like academy prodigies, like I said at the top of the video. Mason Mount, Reece James and Billy Gilmour, all excellent players who you feel like, well, less so Mason Mount and Reece James actually. But this is the kind of competition you'd think they'd shine in. They were all taken off, dude. As Phillipe came into the right back position, maybe he felt like Frank felt like there needed to be more solidity in terms of progressing up the pitch and a bit of, experience essentially. I can understand why Billy Gilmour came off. Kovacic came on for him. And I actually tweeted before half time, this game is calling out for Kovacic. Someone to put their foot on the ball and carry it up the pitch between the lines, because Chelsea couldn't hold on to the ball, and Kovacic did just that. Mason Mount also came off as well, which is a bit of a shock, but there might be a little bit of burnout there. And Ross Barkley came on. Now, you watch Football Therapy, you know that I defend Ross Barkley as a decent player and as a good squad player who I always wanted to keep. And today is exactly why. Ross Barkley obviously scored that great goal against Liverpool, which pretty much cemented our win to get to this stage, and he scores the winner today. Prior to getting the goal, Ross Barkley was doing loads of successful underlaps with Willian on the right hand side, and it suddenly looked like a whole different offensive aspect to Chelsea's game, which they didn't have before, and it was effective, man. Looked really, really good. And he didn't get his goal that way, but he got a good goal, a nice finish, and generally Ross played very well in this game, if not for a couple of mistakes in the later stages. So Frank Lampard really asserted himself. Half-time, 3 changes. We all know Frank's a massive advocate of the more substitutions, and you can guess why, because he's got a bigger squad and he wants the advantage. But Chelsea imposed themselves on the game a little bit more, but it was a pretty dismal game in many ways. We kind of saw it out. Frank made more changes. He brought he took Willian off and brought on Pedro, fresh legs, and he actually took Pulisic off and brought on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So the left wing Loftus-Cheek experiment continues. He looked okay, to be honest, although he wasn't on the pitch for that long. And Pulisic came off, but I think Pulisic came off to sort of look after him a little bit more. All right, I want to talk about some player performances, so let's get rid of this analysis screen. So where do we start? Willy Caballero at the back now. I think he actually had a very good game. Chelsea were lucky and rode their luck in the early stages in terms of not conceding to Leicester's pressure, but he made a few saves, Caballero, and he made a good few claims as well, important claims. So I actually think he had a very good game. Reece James, he looked a little bit shaky, obviously got taken off. Emerson was pretty good. He wasn't amazing. I think he was solid enough to see out the game. Frank obviously didn't bring him off for Alonso, so he obviously trusted Emerson enough to see out the game, which he did. And both centre-backs were pretty good, I think. I think Rudiger in the early stages actually did a few things to save Chelsea conceding. So Rudiger the last couple of games has been performing a lot better, and Zuma was okay, I guess. Kante similarly wasn't as good as the previous 2 games, but he was good enough. He was obviously the one that survived in the midfield, but we all know he's been brilliant, can be brilliant, but not necessarily was in this game. Mount and Gilmour, I didn't see it so much in Mount, but Gilmour did make some bad mistakes, and both of them were sacrificed for Kovacic and Barkley, who pretty much changed and in many ways saved the game. Both of them. Kovacic, like I said, taking responsibility and controlling the midfield, carrying the ball up midfield is really, really important. And Barkley scoring the winner, man. I think Willian had a good game on the right wing as well, and he's been having a bit of a swan song at Chelsea, and I think there's still a chance he might stay at the club, but that's for another video maybe. I might talk about it in a Chelsea news video. Pulisic was excellent. He looks like a man on fire at the moment. He forced a very good save from Schmeichel, and he looks dangerous. He looks full of confidence the way he carries the ball into the opposition box and moves quickly, pops off shots and wriggles through space. He looks very, very good. I think Frank actually took Pulisic off to protect him a little bit rather than, you know, him being tired or having a bad game. I think he's very, very good at the moment, Pulisic, so that was excellent. And Tammy, obviously a bit got some rust to sort of dust off. He wasn't amazing. He did have a good goal ruled offside. Well, an offside goal ruled offside, but it was a good finish. So generally it's pretty decent. And that's how I think the players performed in this game. Generally it's a pretty underwhelming performance as a whole, and I think that's largely down to rotation plus starting badly in the first half when Leicester just sort of jumped on Chelsea and Chelsea couldn't get going, and then there was no sort of cohesion and chemistry. But the most important thing to note about this game was Frank made the changes. Although Kovacic looked very good when he came on, Barkley scored the winner and Pulisic had a good performance. For me, the man of the match has to be the coach in this instance, Frank Lampard. He gave the boys a chance in this certain setup. They didn't please, so he was assertive, and Frank Lampard imposed himself onto this FA Cup tie and won the game for Chelsea, in my opinion. So that's how things went down, man, and Chelsea are through. We're going to in the hat for the semi-finals. What do you guys think? Get down in the comment section below and express yourself, express your thoughts on this game. If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. That means a lot. Subscribe to Football Therapy if you're new, and be sure to click in the link in the top of the description to check out my second channel. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.